In this Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree video, we're going to be covering a few tips on how to beat Commander Gaius, who's one of the first bosses you face in Shadowkeep. This boss can be pretty tough to read in terms of attacks and patterns since he's very mobile, but if you learn them, then it gets pretty easy. So right off the bat, even if it's your first attempt or your 13th attempt, he's going to charge right at you. To dodge this initial attack, you want to dodge into him at the very last second. Afterwards, he has a few options for attack combos, but in my playthrough, he does the simple 3-strike combo. It starts with an overhead lance attack that you can dodge in any direction, and then leads into a delayed boar attack that you can dodge by dodging to the right. He then follows up with a very delayed boar slam attack, which gives you a large opening after you dodge it. Since the second boar swing is kind of delayed, you can actually get a dodge attack in before having to dodge the swing. If you have a weapon that attacks fast with the dodge slash, I recommend doing this since not only do you get the extra damage in, but you also guarantee the timing for your next dodge since you just dodge right after you do that attack. One more attack I want to point out before we move on to gravity attacks is that sometimes Gaius will circle you a bunch of times on his boar and then do this side push attack at the end. It's not a big attack, but I just thought it'd be good to point out. The next attack we see him using is one of his gravity attacks. This attack is a big gravity AoE that you can dodge by dodging at the exact moment he thrusts his lance upwards. His other gravity attack is a ranged gravity lance that he will often do if you try to heal. He also has one other ranged gravity attack in this phase where he hurls a bunch of rocks at you. I recommend trying to dodge backwards since he gains a little bit of distance when he does this, and if you're close enough you can get a heavy attack in. Going back to the last attack of that first combo, sometimes he'll just do it out of the blue. Sometimes right after he does this delayed slam attack, he'll immediately go into a charge, so don't let him bait you. Moving on, he has another attack combo that's fully reliant on his lance and doesn't use his boar at all. In this attack, he sweeps with his lance twice with a slight delay, and then sometimes he'll do a very delayed thrust attack. After he does the thrust, you get a good opportunity for damage. One thing to note is that throughout this boss fight, if you ever get behind him, don't get too greedy with the attacks since he does have a back attack where he uses the board to kick backwards. Next, let's talk about his longest combo and probably the hardest combo to dodge in his kit. For this attack, he'll start by veering his boar up to the right and then it'll fall and he'll do a lance pierce attack. Then he'll do a lance sweep attack and a boar sweep attack, and then the boar's head will fall again, and then the boar will sweep twice, and then he'll finish off with a lance overhead. Even though he actually has 8 attacks in this combo, you actually roll this by dodging 5 times. You dodge the first 2 attacks by dodging to the left, and then after a delay you dodge into the right for his next sweep attack, and after a slight delay you dodge backwards or left for the boar slam, dodge backwards for the double boar sweep, and then dodge in any direction for the final overhead. That's basically it for his basic combos in phase 1. He'll get to phase 2 once he's at about half HP. He starts off by doing a tiny gravity explosion and then rises into the air for an overhead Radan type attack. This attack is pretty hard to time to dodge for, but for me, I usually ended up doing it too late, so try dodging a little early. If you dodge after he does this comet move, you can get some easy damage in. Not much changes about his original combos in phase 2. However, anything involving his boar slamming to the ground will do a gravity AoE. Additionally, he gets a new charge attack where he flies up and is a bit faster, but other than that, it's not too different from the original charge. The only other move to look out for in this phase is his gravity ball attack. Sometimes he will summon 1 or 2 gravity balls, and you have to run away from these, otherwise he'll do a nasty combo while you're stuck in the middle. And that's basically it for his combos. Just make sure you're patient with his attack strings and make sure you only attack with a proper opening.